Moicano had a huge first round against Benoit St Denis, battering him on the ground, but Benoit was still there in round 2 and probably took that round. But at the end of round 2, the swelling was so much that the doctor stopped the fight. So Moicano gets the doctor stoppage victory. Brendan Allen took round 1, Nasiruddin Imavov took round 2, Imavov also took round 3. He wins 29-28 on all the scorecards. Gomes and Brito had a back and forth fight with a lot of swings and momentum. In the end, the judges had it as a split decision and they gave it to Gomes. Bryan Battle just poured on the pressure with strikes, and eventually it was too much for his opponent Kevin Jousset, and he gets the second round TKO victory. His last 4 victories have all been strong finishes. Bilal Muhammad says he knows why Battle used so much wrestling in the first round. It was so he breaks him if he keeps up the volume, which is what happened in the second round when Battle started going crazy with the striking and eventually broke his opponent. Sherier took round 1, and in round 2, coming out of the clinch, he landed a big left hook on Miranda, which instantly knocked him out, but he also ate a shot on the ground. Sherier gets a second round KO, and the French fans went nuts. Sherier has won 5 of his last 6. The only loss was a split decision loss to Chepe Mariscal. Ziam took round 1 with his strikes. He also took round 2 with his strikes and also did some good groundwork. Ziam looked like he was comfortably en route to winning a unanimous decision, and then out of nowhere he landed a massive knee by the cage that knocked out Frevola instantly unconscious. Very impressive performance by Perez Ziam. He looked great in every aspect of the game. Ziam has now won 4 in a row. Before this fight, he won against Claudio Puelles, Jai Herbert, and Michael Figlak, but this fight was definitely the most impressive performance, capped off with that incredible knee. Ziam is getting better and better every fight. Big praise from the welterweight champion Bilal Muhammad. This game can be really brutal. I'm gutted from that one. A tough one to watch for Frevola's teammate and friend Aljamain Sterling. Cutelaba won round 1 with his striking. In round 2, he won that with his striking and ground control. In round 3, Urslan won that round with his ground control. Surprisingly, 1 judge gave it to Urslan, but 2 gave it to Cutelaba, who wins a split decision in a fight that many thought would not go the distance. Again, the judging in that fight came into question. It was a bit weird because that one was an easy one to score, so it was surprising that 1 judge was off. Umar Sy wins a unanimous decision over Da Un Jung, 30-27 on all the cards. He remains undefeated at 11-0. Ludovic Klein wins a unanimous decision over Roosevelt Roberts, but Roberts did not look like a 10-1 underdog in that fight. Ludovic Klein is now unbeaten in his last 7 fights. Taylor Lapulus used his striking en route to a decision victory over Vince Morales. That was the first win by a French fighter on the card, and the French fans definitely showed some crazy energy. Aljamain Sterling thought it was a great scrap. Vince, you fought your heart out, nothing but growth from that. And Lapulus is a dark horse in the division with his improved takedown defense. I can see him cracking the top 15. That's big words of praise from the former champ of the division and Aljamain Sterling. Aileen Perez was able to get the takedown in the first round against Daria Zhelezhnikova. She worked to get the arm triangle choke and she secured it, and Daria Zhelezhnikova tapped. First round submission victory for Aileen Perez, and then she shaked her ass in her face. Some thought that was a disrespectful display by Perez, and she did miss weight. Barres took round 1 after getting a knockdown. Round 2 was closer. Altamirano took round 3, but he did get dropped at the very end. Barres gets the decision victory 29-28. He has won 5 of his last 6. Corneau was able to get some ground control time in round 1, but she got wobbled in round 2. Cavalcante outstruck her in round 3. She wins a split decision. It shouldn't have been split. 2 judges had it 29-28 for Cavalcante. Cavalcante now has 2 wins over Corneau. She also beat her by decision in 2021. Oki was doing well on the feet against Duncan, but when he went for a takedown, he got caught in a guillotine and he escaped the guillotine, and it was a weird finish. He escaped, but he passed out, so Chris Duncan gets the victory via technical submission from the guillotine in round 1. Dustin Poirier acknowledges the Gilly victory of Duncan. This was one of the fights Dana White was promoting on If You Don't Know, Now You Know, and now he says, now you know. John Gooden, Paul Felder, and Michael Bisping did a good job in the commentary booth. Some thoughts on the card. The fans in Paris are incredible. They showed that in the past, but once again showed out, chanting, singing, and just having incredible energy in there. Obviously, a complete contrast in having a fight night at the UFC Apex. There was quite a bit of poor judging on the card, which seems to be a common thing at some UFC events, but this one seemed a little bit worse than usual, with some no-brainers being called the wrong way. A blatant fence grab by Cavalcante in her fight to prevent a takedown once again shows that cheating does pay in MMA at least once. The worst you can get is a warning, and in this case, she didn't even get one. Perez Ziam is a very interesting lightweight prospect. He looked great in every aspect in the game: striking, wrestling, grappling, cardio, and he got the finish. So it'll be very interesting to see who they match up against him and how he does against ranked competition. Some pretty big underdogs came through, and even the ones that lost didn't look too bad. So once again, MMA is a pretty crazy sport to bet on. Pacing of the card was pretty good. They had 14 fights to go through, but they kept it moving pretty well. Next weekend's card is UFC 307, Pereira vs. Roundtree Jr. Serves as the main event for the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship. Co-main event for the Women's Bantamweight Championship, Raquel Pennington vs. Juliana Pena. You have a bantamweight contest between Aldo and Batista. Interesting striking contest there. Ellen Vieira versus Kayla Harrison in a women's bantamweight bout. Kayla Harrison's a pretty big favorite in that one. And Roman Dolidze versus Kevin Holland kicks off the main card in a middleweight contest. Dolidze is number 10 at middleweight. Kevin Holland is number 15 at welterweight. This takes place at the Delta Center in Salt Lake City, Utah. Umar Nurmagomedov's manager says Umar is fighting for the bantamweight title next against Murad Dvalishvili, so if that's the fight to make, good to see that it's more than likely gonna happen. I smacked Peter Yan like a bee, carried Henry Cejudo like a baby, kissed Murad like his daddy, but I will simply smash Umar in the UFC if they put him in front of me next. Nicholas Dalby is going to be taking on Zaleski dos Santos on November 9th. This is a rematch. Zaleski dos Santos won the first fight via split decision. 3 former UFC champions posing together, and Rampage Jackson holding the BMF belt. Miesha Tate doesn't have a fight scheduled right now, but her last performance against Julia Avila was a good one.